Well, welcome back to Dartmoor. It's been a few months since I was last up here, what with messing around with the house and everything. But that's finally sorted out now. Well, pretty much. Still a few bits, but not much now. I just want to sort of add on a personal note that it's nearly 5 years that Sue, my wife, had died, and I think that's worth mentioning now. As I say, it's nearly 5 years, and I don't know where that time has gone. It's flown by in many ways. In other words, it only seems like yesterday. But it's kind of an important part of my life in many ways. I suppose a small part is this very channel, really. Certainly these walks and the videos that I do. I probably wouldn't have started this, doing this if Sue hadn't have died, although obviously we've got no way of knowing. Maybe it would have happened, but it's probably unlikely. But it's been a very, very good sort of self-therapy for me, and it's still one of the reasons why I still enjoy, filming and acting the goat, and smiling and laughing, because laughter really does get you through a lot of the downs, and if you can laugh and smile, then that really does make a huge difference to your life. So we're just heading towards Dartmoor, which is the one just up there. May actually just go around it today, because I'll probably head up it tomorrow, perhaps on the way back. I think we'll have to get up there tomorrow to come back, so we'll be heading in that direction over there. I'm 99.9, okay, maybe 98% comfortable with Lassie around sheep now. She just looked over there, saw them, and ignored them. She has her moments occasionally if another dog gets close to me. I think there's some jealousy in there, unfortunately. I probably haven't socialised her quite enough over the months with other dogs, but that's the one thing I can put up with. The important thing was sheep and and coming out here, so how she is with other dogs isn't the end of the world, and she's pretty good with them. It's only when they get really, really close to me that there's the slight problem. There is a small bridge just there. We just walked over on those stepping stones there. It's actually looking like it might be quite a nice day now, hopefully. Anyway, that's enough of my waffle for this introduction. I'm not sure I need to say anything, do I? But I think we've found water. That's Dartmoor from where we just came. In that direction, Dartmoor is this one here. And we're heading in that direction past those tours, Sharp Tour and Hare Tour. Of course, for some of you, this view will be familiar from previous walks I've done around here, but there's quite a few new people that won't have seen this view, so I just thought I'd film this sort of almost iconic area now. In fact, I think the furthest one is Haretalk. Well, I just stopped at this stream because I wanted to just collect some water. And of course, as some of you may know, I don't treat the water on Dartmoor. I just don't see the point when it comes off. Oh, hello, there's some sheep up there. You can just see the sheep. Yeah, so on Dartmoor I don't treat the water because I just don't see the point. It's so remote out here, I can't see there's going to be any diseases and bugs and germs and pathogens and Ebolas and all that sort of thing, so I never bother, and I haven't keeled over yet. The trouble is, each time I think about collecting water, obviously I don't really want to take it downstream of a dog, which might sound strange when I'm taking it potentially downstream from sheep, but they're not actually in the water, stirring up all the grit and grime and everything. So I'll try and get some water from just up there. I can see you. Yeah, we can all see you. You pretty girl. You? Oh, I'm glad I'm not down there. You a good girl? Yeah, you're a good girl. Say cheese to the camera. And go back in the water. But this is the top of Lint's Tor. So I hope you can hear me over the wind. It's blowing an absolute gale up here. I came up here because I just wondered if there was a phone signal. Come down in the valley. This is crazy weather. I don't think I've ever known summer quite like this one. Anyway, I'm going to start heading back down to camp. It might be summer down there. This is camp. I got here at about 3 o'clock or just after 3. You can see Lint's Tor just up there, so that was where I was filming just a little earlier. But funny enough, from this angle it looks just like a sphinx, one of those sort of cat things in Egypt. I guess I can't say sphinx properly. But yeah, from this angle, it really does look just like a sleeping cat. Never noticed it before. I've never noticed it before, that, but it really does look like a sleeping cat. Or certainly a cat on standby anyway. So this is camp. I'm going to, I think, get in soon. As I say, it's 6:30 now. Lassie's had a good play. I had a small fly with the Phantom. Unfortunately, the monitor wasn't working, and it's very, very windy, so I kept it, literally just around here and very, very low. You could tell how windy it was just up there, so I didn't go very high with it at all. So I'll just quickly show you around camp. I've pitched the Cuban Trailstar probably higher than I've ever pitched it before, and I haven't got my best pitch on the Cuban. I think it either pitches better lower, or I'm wondering whether slightly longer guy lines would give it a slightly better angle. I'm not quite sure. That's something I might have a play with. But the reason why I've pitched it higher, mind you, pitching it higher, I've got myself a wider door, but pitching it higher because on this occasion I've brought the Mountain Laurel Designs. Crikey, it's taken me nearly a whole video before I've mentioned that name. I brought the inner net that fits the Trailstar, and as I say, I think that's as high as I can pitch the Trailstar without the inner actually being too, high or anything. So there's a little bit of loose material at the back, so I've probably, presumably done something wrong. I'm sure it's probably my error rather than Ron's. But it'll serve its purpose anyway. It's certainly a better pitch on the inner than when I pitched it last year with I've lost the dog again. I bet she's in that water again. I might have to tie her up. She's being a bit of a devil today. I've yes, there she is. Lassie, come on. I might actually tie her, not literally tie her up, but I might put the lead on her tonight, because I don't want her coming out. She'll just play there all night otherwise. And she's just dried off as well. So anyway, we've got Lassie back again. So of course she's actually going to, wanna go to bed? Wanna go beddy boys? Wanna go sleepy sleeps? Hello? Hello, little sneaky boo. I know, you went in the water again, didn't you? Oh, Lassie. Oh, good girl. You're a good girl. Yes, you're a good girl. Anyway, that's enough of all that. That's enough of all that. They'll start worrying about us otherwise. Mind you, they've probably worried about us for a long time. Yeah, so once again, of course, Lassie has to dry herself off. But as I say, yes, this is the MLD in a net. I probably should have done the door up actually. Probably got 500 million creepy crawlers in there now. But no, it's actually pitched up very nicely. So I've got the bed ready, just got to put the, obviously, a sleeping bag in there. And I've got dinner tonight. I ought to show you what's in these, didn't I? I keep forgetting. Sweet and sour pork with noodles. So that's my dinner for this evening, and I might, if I think of it, show you show you what's inside my package. Sorry, can't get any better, I'm afraid. Right, I'm inside the internet. Lassie obviously is out there, and I hope she doesn't wander off. I'll call her in a minute. But anyway, I'll sit up straight so you can see. Try and sit up straight, slouch too much. So yeah, there's quite a bit of headroom in here. Obviously you're touching the sides a bit, but you know, you are in a tent, so, and I'm sure you couldn't sit up this right, if that's the right word, you know, in a tent, as it were. So yeah, so this is the internet. As I say, it's sagging there a bit, but I've maybe just pitched it incorrectly. But that, to be honest, that part doesn't matter. Where your head goes, there's, you know, plenty of room there. And I haven't really decided. I normally like to sleep with my head near the door, but I get in and out of bed on the right hand side, so really for me this door is in the wrong place. I'd rather have the door there, personally, but there you go. That's just me. I'm just awkward. I'm just an awkward perisher. Right, again, thanks for all the comments and subscribers. I think I'm nearly up to 2,000 subscribers soon, so you know, thank you for all the subscribers, and as I say, we'll be on 2,000 soon. There's no prizes for whoever the poor unlucky sod is who's the 2,000th. You must be a desperate bunch of desperados watching my nonsense. But there you go, it's all good fun, and thank you. So that's that. I always try and answer as many comments as I can. There are occasions when I forget. It wouldn't be the first time. I've looked back and I found one from 2, 3, 4 or 5 months ago, or maybe more. So, you know, I usually do try to keep up with comments, but sometimes I get a week or so behind. Sometimes, as I say, a lot more. So I do apologise about that, and as I say, I will always try to reply to, you know, nearly everybody. And if I do forget you, then, you know, I do apologise. If you've ever asked a really important question and I haven't answered within a week or two, you know, drop another comment just to say wakey wakey, wakey wakey, or something like that. And, you know, I'll do my best to get back and answer you quickly. Another interesting comment that someone posted very recently, which I will try and answer soon, but I'll just mention here. It was basically, what's the legalities of wild camping? Well, obviously I'm not a lawyer or a solicitor, so of course I suggest that you seek legal counsel, and there's probably some EU directive and all that mumbo jumbo and all that sort of stuff, so I just cover myself with various caveats and things like that, because I don't want to get I'm just keeping an eye on Lassie. Right, Lassie, round here. Lassie, come here, Lassie. That's a good girl. Yeah, so that's all the legality sorted. So obviously if you get arrested, deported, or otherwise incarcerated, you know, don't say, Tony said I could camp here. You know, obviously it's not my fault, says he. Right, the legalities of camping, as I understand it, is north of the border. That's those foreigners up in Scotland. They have their own laws, and within reason, you can camp anywhere up there. And they're just obviously a lot more friendly than we are when it comes to wild camping. I'm sure there's one or two places now where I don't think you can. I think they have actually banned camping in a few places, because unfortunately one or two idiots have ruined it for the rest of us. So there are one or two places where it is banned. I think it's around maybe it's one of the locks, I'm not sure which. But there are a couple of places where it has unfortunately been banned, but that's only really close to the lock, really close to the road. I think once you get away from where, because I think the trouble is people park their car and then they walk 5 minutes and then they camp, and then obviously there's problems and all that sort of thing. Whereas that to me isn't wild camping anyway. To me, wild camping is walking for an hour or 5, you know, getting off the beaten track as far away from people as you can get, and generally speaking, as I say, you're not going to have any problem. So north of the border you're mostly okay. Obviously when you come south of the border, England and Wales, again my understanding is that Dartmoor is the only place that you can legally camp, and if you search somewhere online they sort of give you an area or several areas where you can camp. Pretty much you can camp most places on Dartmoor. Just again, use your common sense, and as I say, you can search online you know, for that to cover yourself. But Dartmoor, as I say, you can legally camp here. The rest of England and Wales, technically speaking, you cannot wild camp. You know, technically speaking, it is illegal to camp anywhere else once you leave Dartmoor. But of course, I say everybody, but you know, a lot of people camp in the Lake District and the Brecon Beacons and places like that. Someone asked about Cheddar. Again, apparently, from my understanding, there are a few people that do camp around Cheddar. So I think the thing is, you know, use common sense, take all your rubbish with you, don't camp right next to someone's house or something daft like that. You know, get off the beaten track, miles from anywhere, and you know, generally speaking, you should be fine. My water's coming to boil. So Lassie has now decided to half come in. I've made a cup of tea. This cup of tea has a mixture of tea and, you know, there's floating around bits, probably as a, you know, the residue of a cup of soup. In fact, that's quite a not bad cup of tea. I think that's the, oh no, it's the second tea I've had. I was thinking it was the third, but no, I'm not being that lucky with that bag. That's the second cup of tea. The Marvel has congealed a bit, but I don't think Marvel likes boiling hot water, to be honest. And I've put the water in. They say to leave them for 10 to 15 minutes. It's quite a long time, but I would agree. Don't eat these too quickly. I would give them a good, you know, good 12 to 15 minutes myself. They taste much better when they've been thoroughly hydrated. But they are absolutely delicious, and they're really, when it comes to these types of foods, I really don't think anything touches them. Yummy and scrumptious. Even the little fly thinks so. Well, good morning. Half asleep as usual. It's just gone 8 o'clock. It was raining all night. I woke up several times during a couple of times during the night. It's dry now. I reckon it was raining from probably midnight until literally probably half an hour or so ago. Lassie has finally settled down on her bed. A lamb, when I actually saw the feet under the outside or under the fly sheet of the Trailstar, so a lamb got very, very close and it was going bah, bah, bah. You know, a bit like Shaun the Shaun the sheep. And of course Lassie sort of, you know, looked up, sort of did a grumbly growl thing, and I think if I hadn't have said Lassie no, she might have gone out to get us some breakfast, some lamb chops. But she stayed there, she didn't move, so that was good. Yeah, at about sort of 1 o'clock this morning I needed to put a penny in the meter. So as I say, my way of, by myself, of going is, as I've said before, is just to go overboard, as it were. But anyway, I think Lassie was over there and she came round here, and she came around here and I went to stroke her, and she was I would say soaking wet, but quite wet, so she'd obviously been half out of the Trailstar. So obviously collies don't have that much common sense that, you know, if you come inside you're going to be dry. So I had to sort of encourage her with a little vigour, I'm afraid, with a little vigour to get onto the bed and dry off. I still think she's a little unsure sometimes of the rattle of, you know, that makes. But when she was on it, then she just settled down, and so she's been asleep there all night ever since, and she hasn't moved. I'm using my pack as a pillowcase. So I'm sort of in the process of packing up. I've had breakfast. My lighter seems to have gone on the blink, so I have to check that. I did have a second one, but I'm not quite sure where I've put it at the moment. Anyway, I've put my cook stuff away, and that's all my rubbish in there. So when I was talking about leave no trace, I take all rubbish away with me. I've put the sleeping bag I've put away. That's obviously in this pouch here. So really the next thing to do is just get a few bits in the pack. I made one slight sort of boo-boo last night, well, yesterday afternoon, when I went up there. I'd taken my wet socks off, and I'd hung my wet socks up here. I don't know if you can see them, but a sock's a sock. But I hung my wet socks up here to dry. And in camp, I put my sealskin socks on. I've just got a very, very lightweight. I've got a very lightweight pair of sealskin socks, and for around camp they're ideal because obviously my shoes are wet. So around camp I don't want wet feet. So I take my wet socks off, put the sealskins on, and then that is enough. Even if they leak a bit, that is enough around camp to keep my feet dry. Anyway, of course, when I decided to walk up to Lint's Tor, I had to go across over here, which is a wet, boggy section. So unfortunately, I got my sealskin socks soaked, because actually at one point my foot went right down. And I say, sealskins aren't perfect, they aren't foolproof, they do leak, unfortunately. Which normally isn't a problem. As I say, I accept that they leak that, and that's it, you know. Crap happens, as the saying goes. So it doesn't worry me. But of course, when it was my dry pair of socks that I wanted to keep my feet dry in, specifically around camp, that obviously was a bit stupid. So I should have put my wet socks on first, to have walked up there and back, and then I would have had my dry socks on down here. I hadn't quite expected that big boggy section just over there, but never mind, it didn't matter this time of the year. But in the winter you wouldn't want to be doing that. You want something dry for around camp. Mind you, in the winter you'd be sleeping, and you'd be in a sleeping bag anyway. Well, welcome to the British summer. Carries on. It's blowing an absolute gale up here. I mean, you wouldn't believe that it was the 4th of August. It's crazy weather. Well, camp was somewhere in that direction, and we're heading. We've got a compass bearing of those sheep. So as long as the sheep don't move, we're going in that direction. Now, Green Tor is over there, so we're heading for Green Tor, then Bleak House, over to Great Links and back that way. Oh, lasses, I reckon she's found more water. Turn your back for 2 seconds and she's can you see her? Yeah. I was looking around and I was thinking, where the devil is she? I say it is very remote up here. This part is particularly remote. The going is actually a bit tougher than I was expecting, especially at 9 o'clock, 9:30 in the morning. Well, of course, as many of you have seen this before, but I'm sure there's one or two that haven't. This is aptly called Bleak House, and it really is quite bleak, especially in this weather, but it is certainly very pretty. And let's go and I'll give you one guess, that's all you're getting, one guess as to what Lassie is doing. I bet you never guessed that. Anyway, on the off chance that we fish Lassie out. Oh, the wind, it's so windy up there, it made my eyes water. Yeah, so where was I? Well, on the off chance that I don't do any more filming up there, you know, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you all again sometime soon. If we can get Lassie out of the water, that is.